Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahi Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspataha Shrunannoti Visveda Sadhanam Om Shri Mahagणपतये Namah Saraswati Namo Nityam Bhadrakalyai Namo Namaha Veda Vedanta Vedanga Vidyasthanibhya Vacha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Vyasaya Vishnurupaya Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye Vasisthaya Namo Namaha Achaturvadano Brahma Dvibahuraparo Harihi Abhalalochana Shambhu Bhagavan Badarayanaha. Open page 10. Narayanam Padmabhuvam Vasishtham Shaktincha Tatputra Parasharamcha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogendra Mathasya Shishyam Shri Shankaracharya Mathasya Padma Padancha Hastamalakancha Shishyam Tam Totakam Vartikakaram Anyanasmad Gurun Santatam Manatosmi Santatam Manatosmi. We had been seeing the importance of Brahmasutra. I had elaborated that Brahmasutra is Nyaya Pradhan Granth. Nyaya Pradhan Prasthan. Nyaya Pradhan means basically based on logic. Using the logic to prove the oneness of the self. Using the logic to establish the Upanishadic statements. This is the Nyaya. It is not the Shruti Pradhan. It is not going to tell how Atma is Brahman, it is going to establish through logic. In that process, in our day before yesterday class, we had pointed a very important point. There was called Laukik Anuman and there was something called Shastri Anuman. All the Anuman or inference is based on data collection. Data is based on perception in the case of worldly knowledge. When I say that person may be there, I think the person has come here. Did you see the person? No, I see his car was there, so I think that person may be there. Because his car I saw. I don't see the person. So this is based on the data collected by the eyes and the past experiences called Vyapti Jnanam. So there was something called Vyapya and something called Vyapak. So if you remember, I had said Yatra Yatra Dhumaha Tatra Tatra Agni. Wherever there is a smoke, there is a fire. Day before yesterday's class, I think you revised it also yesterday. So that is something called as smoke, not other way out. Not Yatra Yatra Agni Tatra Tatra Dhuma. Don't say like that. Don't get confused. I have seen people getting confused on this example only. Forget about going ahead. They are thoroughly confused in this Vyapak system. And therefore you have to be little careful what I had mentioned on that day. There was something called Vyapti, that which connects the Vyapya and Vyapak is called Vyapti. Vyapak and Vyapya is called Vyapti. Vyapti word should not be new to you. I have used that extensively in Upanishads, and now I am again using that particular word. So in fire and smoke, what was the Vyapyam? Smoke is the Vyapyam and Vyapakam is the fire. So one very important conclusion which we had to be very careful about. Be very careful that the Praman, the means of knowledge, if the means of area of means of knowledge, an area of knowledge should not be two. The field of means of knowledge and the field of knowledge should not be two. The field, there is a field where there is the area of inference and the area of knowledge through the inference should not be two different areas. It's an important point. I am reiterating it. That day also I had explained that. So, to be very, very specific, eyes are the means of knowledge for the forms. An area of knowledge through the eyes is the form. Nose has nothing to do with the area of knowledge. Bole, I saw that thing and therefore that was fragrant. So this is a totally wrong logic. I saw that particular thing and therefore it was fragrant. You are using a long logic. When the means of knowledge is the eyes. Eyes have no entry into area of smell. It is totally wrong. Neither eyes, neither uh, neither nose can say this was good smell, neither it can say it was bad smell. It has no entry into that area. This has to be very, very clear. He, that he was rather jumping. He was jumping. Therefore, it is very hard. No, you cannot say. When perception and the softness and hardness is in the skin area, you cannot mix the two area. You are giving again a long logic. And how did you get the, so for every knowledge, what is there? For any knowledge to happen, there is something called praman, or the means of knowledge. That means of knowledge is called data. So you need a data for any knowledge. You need a data for any knowledge. And how that data? That data is based on vyapti jnanam, invariable coexistence of two. That is called vyapti jnanam. So these things you have to be very clear. And that point that day I had mentioned that the worldly means of knowledge cannot be applied in the area of Atma, because Atma is beyond the senses. Don't mix these two things. Don't use logic to prove Atma. I'm coming to that point because you will end up in some kind of misconception. Here the logic is different, and Atma, in the area of Anatma, the logic can be used. In the area of Anatma, logic can be used. What is not self, there you can use logic, because it is in the same area. Data collection and the area from which I have collected the data. Data collection means vyapti jnanam, mutual coexistence, invariable coexistence. I can have that. These two things are connected together. Later on. So now, then what is the use? So what are the common features of Laukik Anuman and Shastri Anuman? And what are the uncommon features? Worldly inference and scriptural inference. What are the common features and what are the uncommon features? So there are, first of all, they both depend on external data connected from some source, from other source. Worldly knowledge is also because of the data collected, and Atma knowledge, knowledge of the self, is also because of data collected from some other source. This is the point number one. So knowledge is not without any data. They need some kind of data. There has to be some kind of data collected from some. Supposing you say this is sour. Something is kept, some dish, and you say it is very sour. Somebody said, how did you say? Well, I tasted it. So the tongue had already collected the data, and therefore you have the knowledge. This knowledge cannot be without some data collected from other source. Brain has not automatically found, rather it has inferred after tasting. This is the point number one. What is the second point? Second point is that both of them, scriptural Anuman and the worldly inference, don't question the validity of the data. Don't question the validity of the data. Both think that it is right. Only supposing that data is wrong, then if the data is wrong, then by using your false knowledge will be exposed after some time through some means. Supposing somebody said no, that is sweet, and actually it was sour. So out of many people, somebody will say, see, this was not sweet, he was saying it was sweet, and it is sour. He did not know properly, I think. Every means of knowledge, while working, we say it is right. But that knowledge is contradicted. If it is contradicted in time, then you know that I used the wrong data. I used the wrong data, or he used the wrong data. But first we use that particular data. First we use that data to come to the knowledge. Only what is the nature of wrong knowledge? Wrong knowledge is contradicted. Get my point? Wrong knowledge is contradicted. I felt it is very cold outside. From my room, I felt it is very cold. My knowledge said, how? Guess. I didn't see the temperature. From inside, I think inside when it is cold, outside is more cold. And I put on 3 sweaters because I felt it was very cold. Now this knowledge that I have, but when I went out it was not cold. So this is now contradicted. The problem with attachment and hatred or ahankar or irsha is based on wrong data. What is attachment? This person will give me joy, or he is giving me joy. There is no praman for that actually. No real praman is there. This is wrong information. It is your vasana, your tendencies, which is imagining the joy in that person. That person is not given any joy. If that person had joy, he would have been happy first. But he himself did not have joy. Therefore, how can he be giving joy? Supposing somebody gives money, he should have money, then he should be. So whom you are very attached to, he should be very happy by nature. But he himself is not happy by nature. How can he give joy? So this is wrong information. And when you apply it, you will find that person is not giving joy. So this knowledge is contradicted. Today my mood is not okay, he is also not responding. So I will say that person is not giving joy now. Now that attachment is an erroneous knowledge. And this erroneous knowledge, I want to make it right. And therefore I will suffer. Sorrow in the world is what? Making something happen right which is not there. Trying to hold on to something which is not there. कोई प्रमाण नहीं है इसका. Rag has no praman. There is no proof for attachment. It's an interesting fact. If attachment is there, there is no proof that he gives me joy. Because Atma can't give joy. Body can't give joy. The Jeev is giving joy. No, I have imagined that he is giving joy to me. He may be serving the body, may be serving the body, the Jeev may be serving the Jeev. But I am joyous because of him and I will be joyous because of him. This is a totally wrong knowledge. How did you conclude at this point? Falsified deep conviction sometimes expresses as sorrow. So I am happy because of him. This is erroneous knowledge as per Vedanta, because it is not true. I cannot become happy. I is unmodifying. Achintyoyam avyaktoyam avikaryoyam uchyate. It is avikari. So therefore it is not right. Second point. I'm talking about worldly also. So two common features are there. Both are dependent on data. Second point is, both while knowledge is taken place, we don't question the validity. And third point is that if knowledge is wrong, if the knowledge is based on false data and information, then it will be contradicted. And if it is not wrong, then it cannot be contradicted. Okay. Supposing I say he has given me lot of problem. His knowledge is there. This person or this situation has given me lot of problems. I was troubled by that person. Because this is what we think sometimes. This is also a contradictable knowledge, because you are not troubled all the time by anybody. Same person may trouble you for 1 hour, but other time he may not trouble. So this knowledge also will be negated in time, because aham dukhi, I have taken the trouble, I have imagined that trouble, and I have imagined more the trouble than it is. It is not something real, in short. It is not a real problem. It's an imagined problem based on the wrong data which mind is habituated. If he does this, then I am troubled. You have imagined the data. If really he was giving off trouble, then everybody will be having the same amount of trouble from him at all time. Like the sun is giving light. So sun is giving light to everybody if he goes outside the sun. So his nature is not like that. This is the 3-point common point about they say, now how do you know scriptural data are right? So you have to use it and find it out. There are 3 common points. What are uncommon point now? Uncommon point is that uncommon point is that Lokik Praman or worldly inference can deal with not self, because they are based on perceptional data, whereas the Shastri Anuman is based on scriptural data. Both cannot go into each other. By knowing the scripture, you can't make good food. Or by knowing the nature of the self, you can't become. People say sometimes, which I feel, what are they talking? Only after listening to Vedanta, I become better doctor. Vedanta helps in becoming better doctor. What they mean, I don't know. Maybe they are trying to say that they are concentrating better. But knowledge of medical won't come by hearing Vedanta. Neither you will become efficient doctor. Because both are different areas. And because you are a very good doctor, that does not mean you will become a good meditator. So what I want to say, that the Anuman, the inference based on worldly data, do not function in the area of knowledge of self. And data based on the knowledge of the self from the scriptures has no entry into the worldly knowledge. I hope this is clear. Therefore, never try to put unnecessary logic there. So, one or two points more. Another point. Now, supposing any smell is there, roses, fragrant smell is there. Some don't have a smell. One person I met here, Shalu is there. Shalu doesn't have a smell. So I was surprised how is it possible a person doesn't have a smell. But when I kept on also there is one person I met. There is a brain problem is there. So that sensory nerves is not connected. Or something happened so that nerves has not. That is a big problem because if some Bhagwan has given a smell, that means something is burning you won't know. Burning you know mainly by smell sometimes. Or some food is not good, you will not know it. Hmm. So that so please get my point. Eyes cannot prove or disprove fragrance. Again shall I say? Eyes cannot prove or disprove. Both it can't do. Eyes can't say I am fragrance is there. Eyes cannot say fragrance is not there. Now this is the second point, uncommon feature. That point has been dealt now. Now, but why you are talking about this? This is a very advanced test. I'm trying to make some background of that. What is the background? In Brahmasutra, although we are dealing with which praman? Shastri praman. Lokik praman is not used. Word because we are not talking about the Atma. We are not talking about Anatma. We are not talking about the Anatma. Don't enter into the area which is not your area. Somebody wrote a book, as I told you, Contradictions in Gita. So I asked that person first thing, where from you have heard Gita? No, I read by my own. By own you cannot read any subject and get it. This is also one law. It is not. Nobody can learn anything by himself. And if he learns, he will always have imperfections in that learning. No food, nothing. At least basic knowledge you should have gone. What are you? Well, I'm a doctor or I'm an engineer, I'm a scientist. I think you should not enter into that area. This is not your area. You don't come. I don't come in your area. You don't come in my area also. Don't unnecessarily intrude in my area. Because this knowledge we have to go to the teacher. And as I told you one day, supposing you want to know Bhagavad Gita, each shlok is connected to the whole theme of Gita. If you don't know the whole Gita, you cannot explain the entity shlok. To explain the whole Gita, right, to explain one shlok, you should know the whole perception of Gita. And whole perception of Gita can be known only when you have gone through each shlok. So one who does not know whole Gita, if he starts studying each shlok, he will never be able to get the point. Why is this point said here? So he will feel this is said here, that is said here, this is said here. And therefore, independent study is highly discouraged in our tradition, especially for the novice. Therefore, when the course happens, I always discourage, don't study anything. You have sufficient to revise. Two classes are there. I think first you make notes. They will read here something, read there something, read there something, and then they get confused. First, offer your mind to the teacher for 1 or 2 years. Don't try to be more intelligent in life. unnecessarily. Don't try to become very intelligent. After you have established, then you can read and you can easily see what is there. I hope you are understanding that. So give yourself for 1 year, 2 year. Believe blindly for 1 year. And as I said, if the teacher was wrong, he will be exposed after some time. You will know that he gave a wrong logic on this area because my knowledge is wrong here. My knowledge is contradicted here. Difference between blind faith and faith, I have said many times. Blind faith is always blind. You cannot prove it. No means of proving it. And if the faith is true, it will culminate in some knowledge at some time. At least you will know that this was the right thing I believed. This is the difference between the Hindu religion and other religions also. What others will say, you can't prove it. Here we'll prove it also. Okay. And therefore sometimes you go to a teacher with lot of faith. Person goes to an ex-teacher, certain teacher, and he gets very shaken up. Because what he thought, the teacher either didn't teach or he gave a wrong knowledge. And then they use the word I got disillusioned. Why did you had illusion first? If you go to a teacher, this happens. And they come to me, well, I went there and he said, if you do this kind of homam or this, your problem will be sorted out. So he charged me 16,000 rand for that. And he said, if you don't do this, your whole family will die away in a car accident. Now, out of the fear, so actually to get the money, he invoked your fear. Then I gave that money also, and he did also. What happened? Car accident happened? No car accident happened. So, but he took away so much of money. What happened then? Then he did more something wrong. I can't tell that. Now you got the knowledge. No, your faith got a crash there because it did not take you to the joy and knowledge. You need not ask anybody he is true teacher or he is a false teacher. You live and you will know it. You live with any person and you will know he is a true friend or a false friend. This wife has been true to me or false to me, what I had believed in him. Whether you love me or not, you need not prove it. In time it will be proved. Whether you are committed to the one. I was sitting with Guruji and something happened. Somebody said, I'm Brahmachari said, well, I'm for the mission. He said it will be proved in time. New Brahmachari. So I'm for the mission. He said it will be proved in time. That how much you have love for the mission or not, you don't have love for the mission. And it will be evident to everybody, not that I have to say it. I don't have to say it. Who is a surrendered student, who is not, it will be proved in time. So remember one thing, people use such facts that faith is blind. It's not blind. You have to be blind initially. Don't question too much. The garden has to be blind to the gardener in the initial stage. After he is blind, gardener says, let me sow some seed. Later on, the garden will know that the flowers have blossomed or it had not blossomed. So these things should be clear. Okay, it is not a dogma. We are not dogmatic about anything. We are not deifying anything. It is not a cult. Chinmaya mission is not a cult. Started by some person and followed by some followers. We are followers of such person. We are not following one person. No, Chinmaya mission is followed by followers of Swami Chinmayananda. It is incomplete. It is we are following the eternal truth which has come in our life through a certain teacher called Swami Chinmayananda Maharaj. That's the only thing. If somebody else will tell, I'll follow that person. Somebody went to Gurudev in Sandipni Sadhana. Teaching was happening in English. So he said, why do you teach in Sanskrit only or Hindi only? English is a foreign language. He said, if required, if Urdu can reveal the knowledge, I'll teach in Urdu also. It is not a cult. You're not deifying some person. Therefore, in our mission, people from other organizations also freely come. Those are different gurus. Need not follow this guru only to be here. You can have another guru because we are talking about the truth. Of course, because I have got it from my guru, naturally I will be surrendered to. But we are mainly truth-oriented organization, not a person-oriented organization. And it is based on praman called Shastra. Be very clear on that thing. And today also, if any organization is there and I have to learn from anybody, I am free to go. I will go in XYZ place also. Today I am ready to go there and learn also. But my commitment, because my Gurudev has given me, will not change by that. Okay, my mother will remain my mother only. By serving other women as a mother, my loyalty to my mother won't change. Now, why you are talking about worldly inferences in Brahmasutra? Brahmasutra 90% places the tark is based on Shastra Anuman or the scriptural inference. 10% Bhagavan Vedavyasa has used worldly inferences. Only very, very little he has. Only why is there? Why he has used the logic of the world? Two context logic of the world is used. Two context. Understand why he has used that. What is the first purpose of Laukik Anuman or worldly logic? Two reasons are there. So, remember that the worldly logic cannot be used for proving or disproving Vedanta or Atma. Both I am repeating it, proving and disproving. I give the example of eyes and nose. Eyes cannot prove fragrance and disprove fragrance. Bole, I know by eyes this is a very fragrant flower. Or you cannot say this flower is stinking. How do you know? By eyes. Because you cannot prove and disprove. I hope you are clear what I am talking. Then why you are using this worldly logic? I am telling you, no, wait. Because certain schools of philosophies use the worldly logic to disprove Atma. Certain schools of philosophy use the worldly logic, Laukik Anuman, to disprove there is no Atma. Why? Because it is not seen. There is no God. Why? This is not seen. Where is the God? If God was there, people are suffering so much, He should have come and helped out. One person came, the editor of Post. What is his name? Huh? Who came here? Bram? Bramno. Who came here? Little plum. I forgot, huh? Satish. Acha, whatever is there, I forgot. Long back, 10 years back. Acha, Post is a very important newspaper. This is all South Africa. He said something. He said, Swamiji, I went to Gujarat when earthquake was there. In 2002-3, I think, he went to Gujarat. He said, my faith on God shook at that time. I said, why? He said, I saw so much of devastation around. So much of harm around, houses are being total, so many deaths have happened, children have lost their parents. My shake on God shook. Wait, where is God here? Because God cannot be proved by devastation, cannot be disproved by you. You are using the worldly logic to prove the one who is beyond the world. Similarly, certain schools of philosophy like Charvak, Buddha, and Jain, they use the worldly logic, Laukik Anuman, to disprove Atma. There is no God, there is no self, there is no self. Hmm. So you are applying it wrongly. You are applying it wrongly. You are using thermometer to see the weight. You are putting the. I was trying to find out, instead of person standing on the weighing scale, is there some way we can put in his body and find out what is the weight? So, there is nothing like that. Even when you have to weigh these suitcases, at the most there is one weighing thing called, this comes like that. So you have to lift it, but you have to lift it. Then it will show. You need not keep the on the weighing scale, that suitcase. You have to lift like that. And then it will show through some measurement. Through the thermometer. You cannot see, array, he is overweight. Why? It's too high temperature is there. Temperature has will never at all tell whether person is underweight or overweight. So some have used the worldly logic to come and conclude that Atma is not there. Dhyan dena. So it is that logic is not wrong. Fallacious application of logic is wrong. Thermometer is not wrong. You are using thermometer in the wrong way. So there Bhagwan Vedavyasa has come to use worldly logic to disprove their worldly logic. Their worldly logic is disproved by another worldly logic. Worldly logic is not disproved by scriptural logic. Worldly logic is disproved by another worldly logic. So worldly logic is not used to prove Atma, it is used to disprove that they disproved the Atma. Or disprove the Vedanta. I hope you are clear. So the worldly logic is used not to say Vedanta is logical, neither it is to say Vedanta is illogical. Then it is ultra logical. Ultra logical means that it can be proved by some other means, not the means what you are using, your intellect, etc. From my intellect I can know. No, intellect cannot be known. So Vedanta is not, it won't function on the field of logic. Like the boat cannot function on the road. Howsoever boat may be running, and truck cannot run on water. My truck is from Mahindra, it's very good truck. But it cannot run on, it is not its area. It's not its area, huh? So that truck I saw, I was going to Brahmasutra at one place. So there was a big boat. On that, the truck was running on the road. Then that truck was put on a big boat. Huh? I was surprised. They put one big plank and the truck went on the. I said it will drown. It didn't drown. The truck went on the boat, very big boat. Then they took that boat. I said, Kya hai? This is not applicable. When the bank came, again they took out the truck. Quite, intelligent people are there. No bridge was required. So Vedant, don't prove Vedant by worldly logic. Similarly, don't disprove it. So Vedanta is not logical, not illogical. Here logical means through worldly logic. This is done by 10% of Brahmasutra by Vedavyasa. He used the worldly logic to disprove the disproving of God. I hope this is the clear. The application is clear. Okay, application is clear. This is what he has used now. Second purpose of his worldly logic, why he has used. So, certain philosophers are Gnostic. They don't believe in the Vedas. That means they don't believe in Shastriya Praman. They will nothing I Shastra. I don't believe in Shastra. So when they don't believe in scriptural logic, so don't give scriptural logic to the one who doesn't believe in scriptural logic. Because he's not believing the very source of knowledge. Then I will use the worldly logic to disprove his worldly logic, because here they are not ready to listen to me. They are not ready to listen from that angle, so I will cut you from your angle only. This is the second second point by which is used. This worldly logic is a strange thing. Understand this. Therefore, science is never final. Why? Another scientist can come and improve that. Even Einstein's law also have got improved laws. There is a big question, like the mobile comes 8.0, 8.2, 9.5. There's a constant correction possible in that. So what was right may not be right. So I went to allergy doctor. So one allergy doctor said, you have allergy. So he gave a big list. He had my allergy test. He took blood, lot of blood, and he said, this I have to send at some other laboratory. So he sent it, and big list he gave what you should not eat. Very big list, not a small list. This milk, this thing, this thing, this thing. So this was there. I stopped eating all that thing. But the problem did not go totally. So I went to another doctor. He said, what? I said, this is the allergy doctor. He said, this allergy thing already had been outdated. He must be old doctor. Was he a young doctor or old doctor? I said, no, he was in 50s. He said, this is outdated 20 years back. And therefore, I will not prescribe this thing for you. And I felt he was right more. Because even after stopping all that food articles, still problem did not go totally. He said, you have another problem, not allergy thing. So science is always has some permutation and combination. This also is a possibility. There is some possibility remaining after knowing it is subject to modification and correction. And another brilliant person can come, he can disprove that particular point. So worldly logic can be contradicted by another logic. Stronger logic, more intelligent person can come. I hope you are clear. You said table is like that. This is table. So you need other person can come. He said no, 4 legs are not required. On 1 leg I can make a table. Well, how? I can put one base here and I can make a table. Well, but this leg is required. Third will come. He said no requirement. I'll put a magnetic field here. So legless table I am going to make. So that I will have a magnetic field at the bottom. Strong magnetic field. and you can turn whenever you want without having inner space. So you can put it here, you can put it there, you can slide it here. ओ हो गया ना गड़बड़ पिछले वाला का. And therefore the definition of praman is asandigdham, abaditam, anadhigatam, which cannot be bettered now. So bigger logic can give a better version of the same thing. This is how development of science is there. This is how development of engineering is there. Development of every area is there. Phones are there. Now phones have come on the watch. On the watch, you can see WhatsApp, you can see SMS. This watch is everything you can see. You can set everything. So in this phone, everything is there. Your weight, it can tell how many kilometers you have walked. Everything. Too much of on your hand, you have kept a lot of problem creator for you. So everything it is going to tell now. In the dogs, they have put something so that if it is lost, you can trace where the dog is. Huh? Huh. So if dog ran away. So you can find it out where, like similarly, phone is there. If phone is lost, in that application you can see where the phone is. Now they are introducing in some countries, you need not have passport. It is on your finger they put something. There is a chip kind of thing which is put on and it is permanent. So you have to just go and scan like that. You can do scanning. Some country has, I think. I forgot which country. So they are introducing that. So manual things are not there now. That immigration is there. This is who will open the book. He will do like that. Give it, hand it over. Just do like that. If it is not right, he will not open it. Gate won't be opened. Automatic gate is there. Like your car park gate is there. If it is not right, then go away. So one person will stand. He will manage 100 of people. You don't know which, but the better version is going to come after that. So, जो worldly logic is there, it is subject to change, and you can see it was inferior. Maybe it was wrong also. Maybe it was wrong also. Getting my point? When glasses came, they say excellent thing. Glasses. Lens came, but lenses are more accurate than the glasses because this much distance is not accounted in the glasses. So lens is always much better than the glasses because you are not accounting for this much distance. An eye test was from this. So lens is very good than glasses. But taking out all this is a tedious process. It can bring infection also. You have to do like this and then you have to put like that. Earlier lens was there, you have to take it out after one day. Not lenses have come, you need not take it out. Toric lens. It is perforated lenses. A time may come where you may just, such a thin film will be there. You need not do like that. You just do and something will automatically, eyes will be with the lens. Then you say this is the old version. It is not that good as this version. It doesn't gather dust now. Actually, it is the modification of the knowledge only. And this is the fallacy of the worldly means of knowledge and worldly knowledge. It is not sure 100%. It is not 100% correct and 100% sure. It can be something else also. But what knowledge has been said by the scripture about something that cannot be improvised. You cannot say Atma will be something else other than what is said in the Shastra. I hope this point is clear to you. Though there is a possibility, permutation is there, but 100% I cannot say. There is a element of Maybe. Maybe. Nothing you can say this is the last thing. This is the best scooter. Something else can come. All knowledges of the world are subject to modification, and doubt element is there. Now remember one thing. But this worldly knowledge is the one through which we do vyavhar. It is good for functional knowledge. Never try to use science to know the truth. They say Vedanta is very scientific. Vedanta is scientific. It transcends science also. Because science uses worldly logic for understanding Vedanta. Initially you can say that. I hope you can understand. Regarding creation of world now. This is trans-scientific fact. You cannot know about creation of world by all these worldly theories. Therefore one shlok comes, it says, Achintya khalu ye bhavaha. You can write it. Achintya khalu ye bhavaha na tam tarkena yojayet. Achintya khalu ye bhavaha na tan tarkena yojayet. Don't try to put logic in that area which are beyond logic. Achintya khalu ye bhavaha na tan tarkena yojayet apratishthit tarkena. Second line. Apratishthit tarkena kaha tirna samshayam buddhi. By that logic which is not founded, apratishthit tarkena kaha tirna samshayam buddhi. Kaha tirna samshayam buddhi. Apratishthit tarkena kaha tirna samshayam buddhi. This ocean of doubt, this is not founded properly. And therefore whole science is busy. Now sometimes they talk about God particle. I keep on listening. 2 years back, this God particle came. So we should be listening there. Don't try to run away from anything. I also read, well, Swami, there is new thing, God has been proved now. How? By God particle. Acha. I also hear. I said, Acha. You are using some worldly way to prove that which is beyond the world. Now, how the space would have come? The Big Bang theory, all this will never be able to prove that, which is the product of Maya. Very product of Maya means that which is having no cause. The world, you are trying to get a cause which is not there. You are trying to search a cause, real cause of the unreal world. This, you keep on beating around the bush, you will never have that. And therefore they will use telescope, microscope, alanoscope, all these things they will go, and they can never say how the world has come. So Bhagavan Vedavyasa used the worldly logic, Lokik Anuman, to counter their fallacious Lokik Anuman, which they used to disprove Atma. He is not proving the Atma by Lokik Anuman. Therefore, Naisha Tarkan Matirapneya Kathopanishad says like that. I hope you are little clear. Just this is a corollary of the last class. People use such statements. If God is there, why can't we see him? What is the cause of the world? When was the world started? Who made the world? Who made the world? Ab see this question, what you are saying, who made the world? People think that we don't think on this. We are Gobar Ganesh kind of people. We just came and sat and put on the cloth and just we are talking about. They don't know that whole day and night we break our head on these areas only. And there is no question which is not resolved. Well, who made the world? Sure. So you are using the Vyapti. What is that? In the world, whatever is made, maker has to be there. And maker is different than the what is made. If somebody made the table, he is not the table. The carpenter make the table. Right? Right. Similarly, you saw somebody, this is Nyaya. Somebody made the world, so there should be some God who has made the world. Problem is now many. God has to be at some place to make the world which is at another place. This is where all religions come into existence. Then what is the problem? Other problem will be if space itself is a made thing, how can he be in other space? Everything had fallen down. I hope you got the point. To ordinary person you can say God made the world, but moment you go deep, this will fall away. Because made world is the space, maker is another space. And if he was the maker, then he should be different than the made thing. Then he will not be infinite God. Leo, khatam ho gaya logic. This is called childish things. हो गया गड़बड़. Because you are using a wrong logic to go to God. Because your intellect is always conditioned by this fact. If somebody is there, somebody should be there who made, and he should be different than what is made. This is our Vyapti. If watch is there, somebody should be there who made the watch, he should be different from the watch. And one who made the watch will have no control on the watch now. If the watch is sold in the market, he has no control on this watch. Potter has no control on the pot. If he has sold the pot. Now similarly, I am using this logic. If God has made the world, now how is the God controlling the world? Then we say there is one God who is there. You are using all Laukik Praman to prove that God. And therefore, if you ask any question about such a God, you will not entertain a question because that God will be finite. And that God will be subject to decay, subject to some person is there. I hope you are getting. Every logic they use like that. So about God, they cannot think how can God be there who made the world and who is seeing the people suffering and now he can't do anything. ऐसा God नहीं है then. This is the Nyaya Ishwar. Then what shall I do? You go to the scripture, then you will see who has made the world and how the world was made. And how the world was made. So before making the world, find out where. So scripture does not say who made the world. He said before you ask this question, who made the world, find out what is the world. Find out what is the world. And then I will answer this question. Answer is there. What answer is there? I'm not telling it here. Answer is there, who made the world. And how was the world made? Every answer is there. But what your imagination was there, seeing everything. This is a big problem with Vedantic student. They use all this. Bole Swamiji, if Atma was there, why doesn't we experience it like an ox? In Singapore I went, he said, one boy came, he said, you talk about Atma, etc. All these are abstract things. I said, define what is abstract. He said, which cannot be seen, cannot be touched, cannot be tasted. Achha. So this Atma, what you are talking in the morning, after class only, generally we have satsang in Singapore. So morning class was in the bottom. I came and this boy came. Very sincere boy. And immediately I said, "Do you have a mind?" He said, "Yes." "Show me. It is tangible or not?" So actually it was not, he had thought if something is not seen, it is not existing. Something is not touched, it cannot exist. Something is not tasted, it cannot exist. But you cannot say mind I touch it, or mind I taste it, or mind I I see my mind blue. But you cannot say my mind is not there. Whole problem is because of our mind. Then he understood immediately. So this is a very strong conviction. If something is seen, real, it should be existence. If something is not perceived by senses, it is not exist. And here is where who came? Jain came, Buddha came, Charvak came. Hmm? Similarly, those who don't believe in God, no, they say, "Where is the God? Show me." I called him, he didn't come. Like you call somebody, Ramesh, he comes. If God is there, I call Krishna, he should come immediately. I asked him, he did not do the work what I asked. I pray every day, but nothing happened. I should be married to that boy. He got married. I got his card today. So he got married to somebody else. There is no purpose of praying now. I have left prayer, I have thrown the God out also. So you are thinking he's somebody. If I pray to him, then if he answers like a businessman, then he is, otherwise there is no God, Swamiji. I have prayed. Nothing happens. That means you are thinking life. If you ask somebody repeatedly, so he does the work, and if because you did not get that, and therefore you discarded, you say there is no God. It's a very flimsy logic. I'm just giving you such things. And Vedavyasa will use Lokik Praman to refute that. Now, my topic of why the Shastri Praman and Lokik Praman is used is over. So around 5-10% places he has used. Now I will come to Adhyas Bhashya. Adhyas Bhashya. Shall I translate? All translation is very dilute. They say error Bhashya. Not Karm Dhare Samaj. Not Bhashya with error. The commentary which is telling about the error in I. What is the biggest error we have made in life? That is called Adhyas Bhashya. And because of that error, all sufferings are there. Biggest mistake of life. You can write a book also, My Mistakes in Life. It will become very thick and many volumes are required, I think. You have to bring out like that book is there, many volumes. What is that? What is that book? Encyclopedia. Encyclopedia has many volumes and they are adding to it. I go to somebody's house, there are they don't read but they keep it just to show. So this is part one, part two. My mistakes. Because you can add, because everyday mistakes are going on. So you can keep on. Very difficult to write them. Only you will feel nobody should read this book. Generally about yourself, you love everybody should read. But this book you will not. You don't like everybody should read. I will not write everything. This, what is the biggest mistake which we are suffering from? This is the topic of Adhyas Bhash. Please bring this Brahmasutra commentary tomorrow. Tomorrow. Although I'll not go by that because my time is less. So I'll tell in gist, but I'll try to read Bhashya. Wonderful, beautiful. It is a magnificent commentary. You have already read that. Okay, so that is a joy now. We will see that. tomorrow. You bring a book of hymns also and Bhashya also. Brahmasutra. This book. Don't bring CIF book. Bring this book. Hari Om. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om